Hello, everybody. Welcome to the drive-thru. I'm your host, Tony T. We'll take you up to the top of the hour. Free picks from all our pick dog handicappers, and Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And before we get started, I just want to let you know our pick dogs are right now in the green room getting ready. We'll have free picks from Monday Night Football, Major League Baseball, the big hockey game tonight. So be sure to tune in and let everybody know about our show. All right, I'd like to welcome my co-host to the show, Dana Lane. And Dana, of course, we got through week one in the NFL, but if you look at the Super Bowl coaches, you're looking at about a 4-1 straight up against the spread.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt, Tony, this week, but I mean, I thought the football was absolutely fantastic. In fact, if you look at the numbers versus week one versus what we had on Sunday, they're pretty comparable in a lot of different areas, including red zone offense, which I think there was 33 touchdowns and one pick inside the red zone offense. So even when you look at that statistic, it was even more efficient than it was in week one. But yeah, Super Bowl coaches come back and have some success, and some that want to be had some success. And like Mike McCarthy, not much success with all those weapons. Just couldn't find a way to put more than 3 points on the board in the second half.
Absolutely. And, of course, I'd like to get your thoughts here with the 49ers falling to Arizona. It just seemed to me, because conditioning in that second half, you know, Kyler Murray's very difficult. You're chasing him all game. And look to me, when you get those end zone replays, those really are telling on the defense. How fast do they react to the plays that happen in front of them? The 49ers look to me just like they're a little step slow. It could be some conditioning issues for a lot of these teams to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought DeAndre was, though, you know, he's one of those. We talked a lot about a lot of other moves that has happened, but you know, DeAndre Hopkins going to Arizona, he was outstanding, 151 yards. You know, Murray threw for 230 yards. I'm not going to get too excited. I don't know how to read him yet, Tony, and I don't know how you feel about him. He's just okay to me. I mean, when we're looking at things from a financial standpoint, I don't have a lot of confidence, I guess is the only word, when I back him financially. So I tend to stay away from his games. But, you know, he was okay. More impressed by DeAndre Hopkins and where Arizona can go moving forward. But San Francisco was a little bit lethargic, and, you know, that's, you know, to be figured. I mean, Kansas City wasn't, but, you know, could be, even though you lost the Super Bowl the previous season, sometimes you come back and you also have a Super Bowl hangover.
Absolutely. This is drive-thru, guys. Free picks coming. We'll have both NFL games. We have free picks on those, the hockey games and baseball. We'll get some opinions here in between our segments with baseball as well. A lot going on. Of course, tomorrow, the NBA playoffs continue. And, of course, Dana, those Clippers, they find a way to make it hard. If you're an LA Clipper fan, going even back to San Diego, even going back to Buffalo, man, I got to feel sorry for you folks. You blow a 19-point lead, a 16-point lead. Here you are in a Game 7 situation.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have followed that team since Buffalo. And, you know, we even talked last week about there was no way the Clippers were going to lose this. It just top to bottom, there's way too much talent. But, you know, I am more and more impressed as we go through the series, more and more impressed with Jokic. I was also impressed that, you know, I mean, that locker room seems to be pretty tight as opposed to what I thought. I actually thought they were going to fall apart last week after there was some complaints about playing time and getting touches on the court. But, yeah, it's really hard for me to go with Denver again in a Game 7. But impressive what they have done so far, considering where they came, not just in this series, but the previous series as well.
Now, if you're a Miami Heat team, you got to be licking your chops, right? You win 8 of the 9 playoff games, one more than the minimum you played. So you think, okay, Boston's going through a Game 7. Okay, you can chalk up Game 1. We're going to get them on 1 day's rest. No, they give the Celtics all this rest before the finals start. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it is going to be interesting. I mean, as far as totals are concerned, last series, I mean, we were under on this, but you know, this is a team who averaged in the Heat, the team that averages the most 3-point attempts than anybody in the postseason. Well over 35, I think around 37 attempts per game. Boston ranks second, believe it or not, in 3 points attempted. So, you know, I know that this total's come down a little bit. It opened up at like 211 or so, and it's around 209.5. But yeah, this might actually be a shootout to start off this series, as both teams kind of feel out one another. But we know that Miami's loaded with 3-point shooters. They're shooting 38% from three. They're not going to change. So I think Miami's going to do everything they can to push this game over the total. I don't think they're going to change what they do at all. And Boston is multidimensional. I mean, they can play a low-scoring game, but if you want to play in transition and have a three-ball game, I think they could play that way too. And I think that's more what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could see Miami's best offensive output here. And, of course, for both teams. And then, of course, the adjustments come after game number one. All right, this is the drive-through, guys, daily at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to get free picks from both Monday Night Football games. And let's go ahead and get started with our plays. Right now, I'd like to welcome to the show Brian Bittler. You'll find him early morning on the show, and the morning show with Mitch and company. Brian, how you doing today?
Oh, I can't complain. Mediocre Sunday. I got slaughtered at 1 o'clock, but came back at 4. And then won the primetime game of the Rams. So hopefully I can carry the momentum into Monday Night Football.
Absolutely. What were your thoughts here from week one that actually we just saw? Of course, Tom Brady going down to the Saints.
Yeah, that was I had the Saints, and I was figuring on that happen. What surprised me was how bad the Browns played. I like the Browns with the points, but man, they didn't even get off the bus. They got slaughtered.
Absolutely, and it was ugly. All right, we're going to take a look here, Brian. You've got your eyes on this one here for Monday Night Football. The game you submitted here with Titans and Broncos, and I want to get a look here at this line. Tennessee is now up to a 3-point favorite. Total sits here at 41. Of course, Von Miller out for the Broncos. Tennessee with that run game. How do you see this one?
Yeah, it just seems so easy to take the Titans here. They're the better team, it seems like, on paper, but I think Denver has a pretty good offense that they might unveil tonight. I think Noah Fant would be a guy that I would bet on to score the first touchdown. I think it pays 11-1. Also, take a look at Courtland Sutton and Judy. I think this Broncos offense might wake up a little bit here, and I'm really leaning towards the Broncos at 3. I'd wait till game time. Maybe you can get a 3.5.
You know, Dane, that's a lot to lay here on the road here. Of course, you're playing in that elevation. Short rest. You got to wonder about conditioning here with Tennessee. You probably want to shorten this game, keep it on the ground in this spot. How did you see this one with Titans and Broncos?
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm leaning towards the under. Of course, I'm still, treading lightly in the NFL season. And, really this is a good example, or the Pittsburgh game is a good example. Why? Because, we don't know what we're going to get out of Roethlisberger. I don't know what his arm strength is like. But this game is really interesting because you remember when Jarrell Casey got, cut in an $11 million salary dump this year, got picked up by the Denver Broncos. And, Casey's been pretty vocal by saying that he thinks, he was treated like a piece of garbage, just thrown to the side. Well, not only does he get picked up by the Denver Broncos, but the Tennessee Titans, of course, picked up Jadeveon Clowney and gave him the old Jarrell Casey jersey. So he'll be wearing Jarrell Casey's jersey tonight, which that's going to be an interesting little one-on-one scenario to watch as well. But, like you mentioned, Von Miller's out for Denver. There's been some talk that Pat Shermer's going to open up the offense a little bit. I don't know if that's a benefit for Drew Lock. I mean, the guy's got 5 NFL starts, so I don't know if that's a positive. But so that goes right back to your original point. This game's going to stay on the ground. 41 looks like a lot to me, and if I had to lean on one play tonight, it'd definitely be the under on the 41.
Hey, Brian, what's your thoughts here on Drew Lock? Of course, the passing attack 28th last year. Not all his fault. They were the worst in the league in third down. We also saw some regression from the Broncos' defense last year, falling to the bottom half from this team, probably because the offense couldn't move the chains. Your thoughts there with Drew Lock under center?
I don't think he's going to get off to a real hot start, but I think over the long run of the season, I think you're going to see Drew Lock get better game by game, and along with his offensive counterparts he's got on that team.
We know how good the Broncos will really start running back, but they acquired Melvin Gordon. He had a good year. Then his yards per carry, he had struggles just to get to 4 yards a carry. Most of his years in the league was below 4. Melvin Gordon, you see him as providing much of an impact there with the Broncos.
I think if they split the carries up pretty evenly and go with a two-headed monster, I think Gordon will be even more successful as long as they don't overrun him. And luckily with that Denver Broncos running attack, I don't think he'll get overworked.
And how confident are you on the Broncos defense containing Derrick Henry with 5.1 yards per carry last year?
Well, Henry's on my fantasy team, so I'm kind of like I'm tempered with I'm betting on the Broncos, but I want to see Henry score a touchdown or two. So, I think they can keep him under control. Under control meaning maybe one touchdown and under 100 yards.
All right, Brian Brittler coming in here with his play tonight for Monday Night Football. Remind the audience again, it was Tennessee. You're going to take the points?
Tennessee, I'm taking the point. Yeah, I'm taking the points with the Broncos, but I'm going to wait until
Broncos,
close
sorry.
to kickoff to try to get 3.5.
All right, he's taking the points, waiting for the maybe get that hook, and we get that late money coming in. All right, with the Denver Broncos, the home underdog. Brian, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pick Dogs?
In that late NFL game, I got my NFL total of the week. You can pick that up for $29.95, pickdogs.com premium picks. Also, I got a side in the early NFL Monday night game. So same price, $29.95. Go check it out. I'm due in prime time.
All right, he's due in prime time. Brian, it's always great having your show. Have a great week. We'll talk to you later in the week.
See you, gentlemen.
Awesome. All right, back here with Dana Lane. Dana, let's take a look at this at a baseball game going off here. We're looking at game 2 between the Pirates and the Reds. Right now, they're in action. 1-0, low-scoring game, top of the 7th. It's a 7-inning game. And the Pirates, a team that's, near and dear to your heart. I know it's a team you follow. It's a game 2. And we've got Keller and O'Connor, the listed starters here, with Cincinnati laying $1.45. I'm going to double-check that picture there for the Reds again. I've got Keller for sure. It's Anthony DeSclafani going for Cincinnati. Now, DeSclafani has had really issues here. ERA over 7 and 25 innings of work.
Yeah, and he's been bad a bit against the Pirates, too. He's dropped 7 of 9 decisions. ERA is close to 5.5, but that doesn't mean run out and take Pittsburgh. I mean, this is a Pirates team that is going to find himself 500 again for the 24th time in the last 28 years. I've made excuses for this team being a small market club, but as long as the Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland A's are out there, there's really no excuse for them having this much, being below this many times in the last 28 years, and including we remember in that 28 years, 20 of those were 20 straight. And I look at this organization. I don't know what Robert Nutting's doing. I didn't know what Frank Coonley's doing. They went to. I didn't know what Neil Huntington was doing before. He got ousted, and Ben Sherrington's in. Listen, they just rotate these guys. There's no. Ben Sherrington won a World Series with the Red Sox. Yeah, great. He's going to go to Pittsburgh and absolutely do a nosedive like everybody else because they never give them the resources to win. But Mitch Keller is going to be his first start since August 1st. He had an oblique issue. And that's kind of also the problem with the Pirates as well. They get these guys that come in with big arms, big expectations, and they either get hurt or they're like Jamison Tyon has had rotator cuff surgery. He's out for the year. This is just how it goes in Pittsburgh land. As far as this is concerned, Bonnie's numbers do not bother me whatsoever. This is a Pirates team, a bad Pirates organization and clubhouse, and really outside of Josh Bell and maybe a few others from time to time, it's definitely not a team I'm going to rely on for offense. So, if anything, you're getting even money on the 7 on this second game, and even though I'm not 100% sure, I think it's decent from one to go, but because I'm still going to put up any.
All right, back here on the drive-thru, I'm joined by Dana Lane here as we took a look here at this game 2 between the Pirates and Cincinnati. And just as you said, 1-1 tie now in the top of the 7th. Pittsburgh pushing across a run. Bauer on the hill, 100 pitch now, and they have tied it up. It looks like a home run, solo home run by the Pirates to tie this one up. All right, continuing here on the drive-thru. And we're going to go ahead and bring in another capper. As I told you, free picks throughout the show. We still got the second game of the Monday Night Football doubleheader coming in. We'll have a Steelers-Giants pick. We got hockey as well. But let's welcome to the show right now, El Ninos. You can find him on the Pick Dog site. El, how you doing this afternoon, evening?
Doing good. How are you?
Well, I can't complain here. I know you're based out in Florida, and your thoughts here on some of your teams in your state. We saw the Dolphins go down, couldn't cover, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, you play in Miami in the heat. or I should say the state of Florida in the heat of September and the humidity, and you get a pretty good spot there for the Jaguars to get the win and cover.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, and yeah, unfortunately the Bucks didn't do so well. But that was a tough game one for Brady and the bunch. Going up against a team that's been together for so long, and they're as I said, a good team, great players. So not surprised with that result either. There.
All right, Al, you're going to be taking a look here at some Major League Baseball. You got some Game 2-itis. You want to look at a Game 2 between Oakland and Seattle. Now, I mean, these pitching matchups, I definitely see Mike Minor on the hill for the Oakland A's, and I believe it's going to be a pulpit game. Jimmy Yacobonis on the hill for the Mariners. It could serve as an opener here. He's had some success in that spot. Of course, Minor coming over in a trade has not had a really good season. How do you see this one? As the Oakland A's, believe it or not, are favored heavily in this one.
Yes, they are, and this is the matchup I liked best out of the doubleheader, and they're actually up 5-0 in the first one right now. So I don't know if that makes me like the second one more or less, but I still like the play. Yeah, Minor, as you said, not great numbers this year, but I think he's definitely a better pitcher than that, and definitely better than Lockett, who I think is going to get most of the innings in this game. And he has horrible numbers in the minors and the few innings he's pitched in the MLB. So, yeah, I don't think this is a good spot for the Mariners, who've been a fun team to watch, but they're up against another fun team that's actually the better team here. So, again, this could end up being a high-scoring game if Minor doesn't improve much, but I think he does well enough in this spot. And I'm taking the A's -1 or splitting my bet, between the money line and run line.
Dana, Mike Minor's had kind of a tough series, tough season this year. Gets the trade over to Oakland. Of course, the Mariners, played a little better of late. They've won 7 of 10 entering this doubleheader. They're the big dog here. How do you see this one?
Well, they've won 13 out of the last 19 games. I mean, they started the season 19 or 8-19, so certainly it's been a turnaround for Seattle. But this is really a game that I'm going to stay out of because I don't know who Mike Minor is anymore. I know his potential, but I don't know where he is right now. And the one thing that we can't measure where he is mentally, and he just can't be in a good place. He's trying to find himself. You see him go through 2 or 3 innings where he looks like his old self, and then he gets behind hitters on a consistent basis, and he gets in trouble. He's 4-5 this year with 14. I'm sorry, he's 4-5 in 14 appearances against Seattle, which means he doesn't get a lot of decisions, which means a lot of times there could be high scoring games, or there was looking at this, but. He's 0-1 in 2 starts against the Mariners this season. Of course, that was with Texas. So read into that what you will. I will say this. I'm really happy for Ty France. I mean, he's a guy that I watched pretty closely in San Diego, and I watched him in person quite a bit, and I thought, boy, I don't – they're really trying to jam him at third base, and I don't know if he's going to work out. But he's – hitting 364 now, and he's been absolutely fantastic for Seattle. So good. I think the Seattle lineup is a little bit more potent, a little bit more reliable than it was early in the season. But you never know which Mike Minor we're going to get. So this is a no play for me.
All right, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, you mentioned him not doing so well against the Mariners, but he's actually not seen a lot of the guys he's going to pitch against today. And the ones he's done pretty well against. So he's been, horrible this year, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for him, especially the way the A's are playing right now.
Now, looking at the line here, Al, of course, you're taking a pitcher that has struggled. You're looking at laying here some pretty heavy line here. We're looking about $1.60 here. The total sits at 7. That's pretty heavy on a Mike Minor, especially the numbers he's put up.
Yeah, but as I said, I'm going half money, half run line, so that would bring it up to much closer to even money than that, which the run line right now is, let me just double check that real quick. Sorry, I didn't have the numbers in front of me. But yeah, it's a plus money run line last time I checked, so that brings that line way down when you go -1, and all you gotta do is win by 2, and if they win by 1, it's a push, so I think it's a good spot to try that.
All right, Al. Of course, we see you over at Pick Dogs. You're doing pretty well. So you're at top good NFL day yesterday, and I've seen you up near the top of the leaderboards. So what you got going on over at the Pick Dogs?
Yeah, real quick. I see the run line around plus 118, plus 115 probably in most places. So yeah, again, that brings it way down to around minus 110. I'd say minus 115 at most if you go minus one. But yeah, I got some NFL plays. I got a couple more. I got actually two. Let me see what I got left for today. Yeah, I got two NFL plays and one MLB play left for tonight. And as I said, I really like this play a lot. This almost made it as a premium play. So I really expect Miner to do much better tonight.
All right, we got John Miner here. Of course, we're seeing near the top of the leaderboards. Past 7 days, El Nino is over 940 units of profit. Pick up his mixed pack, 3-pack of games, doing very well. Al, as always, great having you on the show. You have yourself a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks again. Have a good one, guys.
Well, we're already next week. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one, Al. All right, Al Nino's here. Join us here on the show. All right, continuing on with the Dana Lane. We have a lot of plays that come, guys. We still have the Steelers-Giants pick coming, and we got the NHL pick and a lot more baseball. I want to take a look at this AL Central matchup, Dana, because this one got me a little excited. I know we're heavy on football, but man, I like it when you got the Twins and the White Sox going at it. It's Cease on the hill for the White Sox, and of course Cease will be going against Jose Barrios. And how do you see this one?
Well, this is my lone game that I have left up on the website, so I'll just touch on it briefly. Cease has logged 5 or fewer innings in each of his past 3 starts. Has not faced the Twins this season, but he is 0-2 career-wise against Minnesota. And I just wanted to go back to what Al said real quick, and it's a great point that, sometimes we throw out these career numbers, and it really doesn't really have anything to do with it, especially when you have a pitcher that's been around for a while. So, keep in mind, keep it current. You just want to throw those numbers out for people to have them, but also keep it current. And in Mike Minor's case, of those 14 appearances against Seattle, 3 were in relief. So also figure that into your handicapping as well. But Dylan Cease has not had a big history against Minnesota, but this is a absolute huge game from 2 teams lineups that are putting runs on the board at will. I mean, Minnesota's up to their old tricks, just hitting home runs left and right. And Barrios, though, if you do like the under in this game, which is not where we're going on this, but we are going on the side. But if you do like him, his number's 12-2 lifetime with an ERA at 2.69. So those are pretty good numbers and a real good amount of games to choose from. It's not a short sample size, so you might want to take that into consideration as well. And his 103 innings, he has 109 Ks, so he's had quite a bit of success. So we're going to go on the side in this game, get on the website to get that, but just some numbers in case you were looking at the total.
How much stock do you put in home road splits, and how deep in the season do you start looking at them as we're now in the middle of September?
Well, I mean, with the start the season, I look at what they just did. Now, what they just did is important if there's not a lot of turnover, because you still have the chemistry going from one year to the next. But, right now I look at home road splits almost all the time because it's extremely important. I know, traveling with teams and, somewhat being an athlete at one point in my life, I know how it feels to be at home and not have to go through all the extra things. And even we talked about this last week, not having to overcome fans at this point, but still the process of going on the road and doing the things that you normally would on the road, just a little bit extra on your plate that you don't have to have at home. Some guys handled it extremely well. I've seen splits this year with hitters and pitchers are actually better on the road. I love pitching on the road myself. It was great. I love going in the Lions Den and listening to all the parents chirp, and I loved hearing that. But some guys don't. So it's extremely important. I think that's one of the top 3 to 5 numbers that you look at with any pitcher.
All right, guys, it's the drive-through every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. A lot more free picks coming. We got the Steelers, Giants still coming, and we also have the hockey, more baseball coming up. And now we're going to turn our attention to the number 1 handicapper document over at Pick Dogs, doing fantastic work overall. That's Dana Lane. Dana, you're going to take a look at this game at 7:30 Eastern time between Atlanta, Baltimore, Toussaint versus Lopez. Atlanta favorite on the road, about $1.65. Total sits at this one 10. There are some 10.5s creeping up. The total tells you there's a couple pitchers that have some struggles.
Well, I mean, Brian Snicker over the weekend changed up his lineup a little bit, and it's been really working for the Braves. I mean, he's putting Acuna at the top, Freddie Freeman at the top, Ozuna at the top. They're 4-1 since they've made those changes, and offensively, if you like the over in this game offensively, you're going to get something out of the Braves, or at least you have over the last 5 games. The problem is we can also pretty much count on getting nothing from the Baltimore Orioles as well. They were swept in a 4-game series against the Yankees. They scored 3 runs against the Yankees in that series. If you want to go against the Orioles, the chances are they're not going to score runs, because when they score less than 3 runs, they're 0-16. And Jorge Lopez against Tuki Toussaint tonight. And, Lopez is kind of a curious case. I mean, you've talked to a lot of guys, and I have face-to-face talked to guys about him, and they've said this guy's got electric stuff, but just couldn't, Kansas City and Pittsburgh are almost mirror images of each other besides the 2 World Series appearances. And they were saying that this guy's got great stuff. He just can't find his way. And he's bounced all around in the major leagues. He's gone from Milwaukee to Kansas City, and now he's in Baltimore. He's trying to find his footing, if you will. He may find a home in a situation in Baltimore where they really need some starting pitching. And I think it even goes back to him being a minor leaguer, Tony. Anybody who goes and pitches in Colorado Springs, especially his first time around and for the Sky Sox, he just absolutely got battered in a park that just really your young guys should not even be pitching in if you're hoping to, get them some confidence. It's a horrible pitching park or park for pitchers. So anyway, to make this long story even longer, I think Lopez is going to find a home here. I think he's going to settle down. He does have good stuff. And Toussaint is a guy that we can count on getting balls on the ground. He's not a live drive pitcher, and he's not a fly ball pitcher. He's a ground ball pitcher. So I think 10's a little bit too big of a number for me. I'm going to go under the 10. We're getting a generous price at minus $1.05 at last look.
All right, Dana Lane here says under in this one. It's Braves and the Baltimore Orioles. But on the side, anything you feel on the side here with there's a big number there on Baltimore, but you just have very little confidence in them producing a win?
Oh, yeah. No, I can't back Baltimore, and I'm not laying the number. So we seem to – and I kind of track everything, and there's been a tendency for my strength to go into totals right now. So I'm going to always move forward where my strength seems to go, and we're gonna give out that under 10 as the free winner.
All right, here on the drive-thru, I'm Tony T, joined by Dana Lane. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Free picks coming, guys. We got the hockey game coming up. We got the Steelers Giants free picks, and more baseball coming up. And let's bring in one of the puck dogs. We welcome Chris Ruffalo to this show. Chris, how you doing? I know you're going to look at hockey, but of course we went through some good NFL Week 1. What were your thoughts from the action?
I think Brian touched on it earlier. I was really floored with how bad the Browns actually looked in that game against Baltimore. I mean, I had Baltimore the whole way, but I mean, I thought, Baker Mayfield would at least try to show up a little bit and, try to silence the play or silence how his back and forth flip-flopping from earlier in the week to, using his play to sort of, put his best foot forward, but that didn't happen. And, I'm starting to see that as a Patriots fan, I'm starting to like a little bit seeing Tom Brady sort of regret his decision for leaving New England. But you know what? It's week 1. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's just going to be fun to have football back.
Do you think Patriots getting Jarrett Stidham ready? If you're having Cam Newton run the ball 15 times, I mean, how long can he last?
Jeez, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm trying to not think about it until then. I'm sort of at that point where it's just like I'll accept the fate once it comes, but until then, just leave me alone right now. I'm on cloud 9 after week 1. I'm good for right now, so just let's just move past Cam Newton. Let's leave him wearing his yellow suit jacket and his hat with the scarf, and let's just leave it at that.
Yep. And of course, I want to get your thoughts on that Cowboy loss to the Rams. Of course, new coach comes in, and they just couldn't generate the offense here to beat LA.
I won't lie to you. I had Dallas in that game because I thought maybe Mike McCarthy would instill sort of a new a new sense of a winning presence from his time with Green Bay up until now. Bring that sort of, that mentality to a team that has the talent. You have a Dak Prescott, you have a Ezekiel Elliott, you have an Amari Cooper. You bring in all these guys, you bring in a CD Lamb through the draft, you have a decent defense, and it's still, no matter what you do, the Cowboys still end up being the Cowboy week one, where we expect big things, and it's a dud. And again, this is going to be a team that I think we're going to be able to see good things, as the season goes on. But after week one, you're kind of just left scratching your head and wondering, oh no, not again. But again, everything's going to be taken with a grain of salt with only, 1 week of games under our belt. If we're still saying this kind of stuff after week 6 or week 7, the panic button, the lid will be opened on the panic button, but it won't be pressed just yet. But again, marathon, not a sprint.
All right, Chris, you're going to look at a game here. NHL, Dallas and Vegas. We've got Vegas here favored heavily, about $1.75. Total sits at 5. It looked to stave off elimination. Last time we saw Vegas getting the last line change, there was a lot of space on the ice, a lot of good shots on net, high quality shots. When Dallas had the last line change, well, we saw what happened. It was tight hockey. So how do you see this one, Dallas and Vegas?
Well, I mean, the theme for me today, for everything, whether it's been this card and even this game, has been quality over quantity. And I mean, it's a smaller card of games, but Dallas has been treating this series like it's been quality over quantity as well. Vegas has had, the greater number of scoring opportunities. They've outshot Dallas 105-67 over the last 3 games, but yet Dallas has still won 2 of the last 3. I mean, I get why we're getting Vegas here at this price. Bookmakers see them as desperate. They're not going to want to go home. This is when teams tend to sort of stick their foot in the ground and say, you know what, enough's enough. We're going to fight back in this series. But I mean, Dallas hasn't wavered on how they've played their game. They're playing a tight defensive game. They know their strength, and they're capitalizing on the chances that they do get, which is a key quality in a lot of these teams that win the Stanley Cup. I just think, timely goaltending of Hudobin, who could be getting my vote as a dark horse for the Cons playoff MVP. But I mean, you mix it with the solid play from the Dallas Blue Liners, combined with the inconsistent offense from Vegas. I'm sorry to my friends in Las Vegas, but I'm taking Dallas at plus 155, closing out this series, making their first Cup final in 20 years.
Yeah, Dan, it seems like a very generous price on Dallas. Total sits at 5. We're seeing some juice to the over here. How do you see this one? You're based in Vegas. You've seen a lot of the team.
Yeah, well, that number is going to be that way just because they are not going to. They're not, a team that's up 3-1 who certainly is going to close out the series, or looks like they're going to close out the series. I mean, Vegas is still going to be a healthy favorite just due to the fact that a majority of tickets, especially in Vegas, is going to be written on Vegas. So they're not going to, put up $1.20 or $1.30. They want you to think twice about who you're taking. But he's absolutely right. I mean, this is the second series in a row for Vegas that probably they have outshot, outplayed their opponents, but yet struggled to put Vancouver away in round 1 and struggled to stay within shouting distance of Dallas, down 3-1 right now. They have a lot of problems clearing out the front of the net. They don't get a lot of loose pucks. They don't get to a lot of rebounds. So even though that the shot numbers looks completely in favor of Vegas and the Corsi numbers looks in favor of Vegas, it's that second chance opportunity that is really hindering Vegas from excelling in this series. And of note tonight, we have to figure out whether or not Mark Stone is going to play. And I've been close enough to this organization to know you're going to find out on opening faceoff whether Stone's going to play or Tomas Nosek is going to play. Those are, both big question marks for Vegas. I don't mind that pick of the Stars, and certainly at plus 155. If you like the Stars, don't you have to like the over? Because, I mean, it's do or die for Vegas, and if they're down 2-0 in the third period, or it's certainly 3-0 at this point, it might be empty net for 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, Chris, you happen to look at the over on this one between Dallas and Vegas. Your thoughts on the total?
Yeah, for me, I still think that if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, Dana made some very good points. You could definitely see an empty net if Vegas is trailing 2 or 3-0 late in the game. But I mean, we've seen Dallas get the job done by playing tight, hard-nosed defense. And until I see that Vegas can take advantage of these second chance opportunities and not just make it one and done every time they get into the offensive end, I have to still think that it's going to be a lower scoring, tighter, more physical game with neither side really wanting to be the first to make the first mistake and neither one wanting to blink.
All right, Chris Ruffalo here, joining us on the drive-thru. Chris, I know I see you over at Pick Dogs, and right now having a really good baseball season, over 500 units of profit. That's documented. What do you have going on over at the Pick Dogs premium site?
I had a massive Monday today. The first game went off the board, but that's fine. You know, people, if you still want the full package, we're only missing the one game. So I put Mammoth Monday back up. You're going to get 3 plays from the NFL doubleheader tonight, as well as 2 MLB and 2 NHL, all in one package. You can get it over at the website.
All right, Chris, as always, great having you on your show. Have a great week, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good night.
All right, here back here on the drive-thru. A lot more free picks coming. We got that Steelers Giants and some more baseball coming up. But I've got the #1 documented handicapper over at Pick Dogs, Dana. And Dana, I don't know if you let everybody know what you got over at Pick Dogs tonight. We're about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Then we have Dana Lane. Dana Lane coming once. Dana, what you got?
Yeah, I just got the one game left. The way through the. I just have the one game left tonight. One game's already gone off, Philadelphia, Miami, and I got Minnesota in Chicago still left on the website tonight.
All right, so check out Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs, #1 documented over at the site Pick Dogs Premium. Dana, let's take a look at this matchup I'm looking forward to. If we can get a pitcher for the Dodgers, I saw this Dodger Padre, and I saw Kershaw going here against the Nelson Lamet, and I see LA was favored. Do you have you found? Can you find a starting pitcher? Did you find a starting pitcher for LA listed?
Well, I mean, I know it was Kershaw to begin with, and then he got taken off. And I'll look one more time while we're talking. He got taken off, so of course that means a lot when you're trying to put your money behind one or the other. It still is listed as undecided. Lamet still is starting for San Diego, and it's listed as undecided for LA, which means it might be a bullpen. Which probably means it's going to be a bullpen game for them. But I like this game to go under the 8. I mean, I think this is going to be a tough matchup. And a lot of the time when we see these undecideds, I tend to go under because if you're San Diego, no idea who you're facing, and it may not matter with that lineup that they have. But I still like to know who we're facing. Plus, if it's going to be a bullpen game, I tend to really unders in those because I think there is something. You can't do it every day, obviously. There is something to getting a new pitcher innings or 1-for-1 inning. It does for the favor, even though both offenses are really explosive. That number also of 8 is also telling me that the odds makers feel as if that this is going to be a little bit low scoring game as well. Lamet has not pitched well against the Dodgers in his career. Again, 1 doesn't always equal 2, but just to give you a little bit of history against him against Los Angeles. But until I really know who's going to start for the Dodgers, I'm not involved in any kind of side. But I do know in order for this game to go under, Lamet's going to do his job, and that means his fastball and slider have to be worked. We know when it's working for him. He's taken no-hitters twice deep into games. So San Diego, I think, is going to do their job on the under. And even if it's a bullpen game for the Dodgers, I think that favors them as well because they have a fantastic pen.
All right, we're getting some emails I'm getting some texts from people saying Kershaw was listed, so we'll see if that's gone. We've seen undecided has been up and down throughout the day. We'll see probably around game time if Kershaw goes. Maybe look at -124. That's a pretty good price there on Kershaw. All right, you guys, this is the drive-through.
Might see it.
Yep, you might see it if he goes, but again, you have to wait till.
I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt. I see it at minus a dollar now. So I sometimes you can tell from where it is. I don't know how anybody can put a number up if they don't get both pitchers, but it looks I mean, you could read into that, and certainly if Kershaw was a start, I don't think he's going to get the start, but if Kershaw was going to get the start, that seems a little bit low, even on the road against San Diego.
All right, the drive-through here, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We break down the games that are just about to start, and we'll take it at the top of the hour. And well, without hesitation, we got Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh and the Giants. We'd like to welcome with our free pick from that game, Rod Zawacki. You can find him over at the Pig Dogs. Rod, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing good this afternoon. How are you gentlemen doing?
Oh, can't complain. It's a pretty good, busy day with all these sports overlapping. I'd just like to get your thoughts here on week 1 in the NFL. We saw that Minnesota-Green Bay game. You know, Minnesota inexperienced on defensive end, and it showed against Aaron Rodgers and company.
Yeah, it definitely did show there for sure. And the usual. Buddy chokes, big games.
Yeah, it did not look good for Minnesota, of course. Look at your thoughts. Another one here with the Jets going down to Buffalo and not covering that one, and Darnold not that impressive. But again, it's week 1. You know, we've seen a lot of weird results in week 1. You know, a lot can happen in here in week 2 if teams get in better condition, get the game plans going underway. What are your thoughts on the Jets and that Jets-Bills game?
The Bills just look exactly like we figured they were going to look. Me being Canadian, Bills are a team that we like because it's right there on the border, right? Bills Mafia. So yeah, that Bills team is their defense still looks beast. They added some offensive weapons. Jets, still the Jets. Blech. They didn't show anything impressive to me either. No, Jets look garbage just like they did last year.
All right, let's see if there's some hope for another New York team. As we got Pittsburgh and the Giants going off at the top of the hour. I doubt it. All right, he's already quick with that. Pittsburgh and the New York Giants. Rod Zawacki with that pick. We've got the Steelers laying 6. Total sits at 44. Of course, a lot of questions on Big Ben. You know, everything's always positive. Everyone looks great. You know, everyone's looked their greatest. Everyone's in great shape. We'll see how we'll see how it goes when we see them on the field. But anyway, it's a big line here for Pittsburgh. Of course, they leaned heavily on that defense last year. Kept them in games. That defense played really well. Really put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Daniel Jones for Young returns for his second season. He's going to have to deal with that patch. How do you see this one, Rod?
For me, I see this one. Yes, for sure. We got big questions. How's Big Ben's arm going to be after that surgery? But it's nice for him. He's got all these other weapons that at his disposal that he can use that can definitely help him out. You got Juju Smith, Connor's healthy, running the ball. Deontay Johnson, rookie with 59 catches last year. He's going to be available. We got some nice Eric Ebron, tight end, nice at goal line offense there. Nice tall receiver. I think Pittsburgh offense will definitely be improved from what they were last year. With the two quarterback, with their 18 touchdowns, 19 interceptions last year. Especially going against this Giants defense, which really did nothing in the offseason to improve their horrible ranking. What were their big moves? They added James Bradbury, a 68th ranked corner. They added Blake Martinez, 53rd ranked linebacker. We added a rookie in Xavier McKinney, but he's out. He's got a fractured foot. So this defense is still the defense that's giving up 28 points a game. I don't see Pittsburgh having a problem moving the ball offensively against this Giants team. And that defense against Pittsburgh is just beast. You got to take Pittsburgh here. Even with Mike Tomlin's 16-2 on Monday nights. Pittsburgh thrives in these big game spots. I got this game about 28-17, I think. I like the under. I don't think this is going to go over because I don't think Giants can score enough points to do their part.
All right, Rod Zawacki here going with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. Dana, your thoughts on this one? A big number here, but the Giants here are going to have to deal with that Steeler defense. We toss it over to Dana. Dana, you home? I guess I see him moving. I see Dana
I can see him moving too. He's blinking.
He's blinking. There's some life. It's not the statue Dana it's not statue Dana. All right. Well, anyway, Rod,
I agree with
this. Oh, there we go. We got it.
From the Steelers standpoint, I think they're going to put up a lot of points tonight. Okay, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I hope we can still hear you. But I'll continue with Rod here. And Rod, I looked at this game, and I was with you here with the Giants offense. I kind of lean more on the under in this one. I looked under 45.
Then why are you?
Now I can
hear you.
Well, it's spotty. It's check. Well, actually now we can hear you, but it's not consistent. It's choppy, very choppy. You're very choppy. Now we hear you. You there, Dana? All right. I guess Dana is off and on. All right, guys. So anyway, I'm looking here at the
story of my
under
life.
This. You back again?
I think so.
All right, go. All right, go. I can hear you. Okay, go ahead. Well, I guess we lost him. All right. So okay, what are you gonna do? All right. Anyway, as I was saying, I prefer the under in this one only because I think the Giants are going to have difficulty moving the football. And I think what happens is, one thing I've noticed with Pittsburgh on the road is they make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes Big Ben gets too deep happy. When he used to have Antonio Brown there, a lot of mistakes, a lot of interceptions. And I think in this game, Pittsburgh doesn't have to be so aggressive in that second half. They get a nice, comfortable lead, a cushional lead. There's no reason to push the pedal here. Just get the win, get out of Dodge. I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see the Steelers up, and they're just going to kind of coast it home. And really, I think the Steelers defense, they got a chip on their shoulder. They carried this team last year. They put them in position to win games, even though they couldn't get over the hurdle with the backup quarters. But they had a hell of a season last year. And I think that follows them. Your thoughts there on the total this one, Rod?
I agree with you. I think, for me, I'm going to say this game is about 28-10, which puts us underneath because the Giants, maybe they'll get a touchdown if they're lucky. This defense is just beast for Pittsburgh. Giants are going to have really tough time moving the ball. Jones, he gave up, 25 turnovers last year, 13 interceptions, 10 fumbles he gave up in 12 games. And this defense is going to feast on him. How many points, how many turnovers does the Pittsburgh Steelers get today? 2, 3?
2 at least, especially if they're
down
in distance. Yeah, down in distance. We forgot to even mention Saquon Barkley. They're going to lean on Barkley on the ground, which runs clock, right? I mean, you got to worry about that. Also, too, you're looking at film, you're seeing the Steelers pass rush, and of course, you got a young quarterback back there. You got that quick release. And what does that mean? A lot of underneath throws, a lot of a tackle in bounds. You see those tackle in bounds plays, and what happens? The clock just keeps running and running. And I think that's going to be the situation. Yeah, and then you get in a situation where you're down in distance, and that's where the turnovers can happen, the third and longs, where the pressure comes. And I'm telling you that Pittsburgh's defense last year got a lot of confidence in their play and the way they kept the team in. And, of course, with Big Ben, just don't screw it up. Just come in and don't screw it up.
Exactly.
None of these picks.
And the Pittsburgh defense shouldn't have to be on the field so much either. You got to think, just look how much time did they have to play on the field last year, and they still played that good.
Yeah, they did. They were on the field with that backup quarterback. Hey, I know we were talking hockey. I know you're one of the puck dogs, but you can hear Rod Monday through Friday, actually every day at 10:30. You guys are every day. It's 10:30 a.m. Eastern
every day,
time.
7 days a week, 365 days a year. We're at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, breaking down all the games in the morning show with Chris is there as well as Brian Bittler and Mitch. And I'd like to get your thoughts. We talked about this Dallas-Vegas game. A lot of people, a lot of folks taking the Dallas money here as a dog. How do you see it?
I got to agree with the same thing. I've been on Dallas most of this series. I like Dallas. I like Dallas a lot. They played real good. They've got heart. They've got grit. And how much more can Vegas outplay these guys? They've outplayed them for the last 3 games, and now you might not even have Stone play. Ooh, give me Dallas. I think Vegas is all but wrapped up, and I sure ain't putting minus 175 down for this Vegas team that can't score the goal. So
yeah, that's right. They have trouble. Even they're going to get the last line change, which means they can make. Last time we saw that they were able to get some. They were able to get some good quality shots in that game too. There was a lot of space on the ice. Of course, they had the built-in excuse in game one, coming off that 7-game series. But in game two, they showed a little bit more gusto because they had the last line change, a lot of open ice, but Dallas was able to close that off. But now here's a situation where Vegas gets the last line change.
Yeah, exactly. So you figure that Vegas with the last line change can get the matchups they want, and there might be a little more room. But this Dallas team, I think, is still they're gonna be playing defense right from the start. They play defense. They hope they can steal a game. They know that Vegas is going to put all out, but I think that's what they've done the last 3 games. They've gone all out against Dallas, trying to get a win last game, and came up short again. How many 5-on-3s they have last game too? It's not like they didn't have their opportunities to put the puck in the net and never did.
Yep. And Ryan, we're close to the top of the hour. What do you have going on over at Puck Dogs Premium? I know you're having. I saw your numbers there in the NBA. They've been pretty good. What do you got going?
I believe I got a Mega Monday 5-pack still available. Let me just have a quick boo. The Mega Monday 5-pack still available. 2 bets in the NFL, 2 in baseball, and 1 in hockey. Still available for $29.95.
All right, guys, so check out Rod Zawacki over at the Pick Dogs. Pick up on his package. He's doing very well in the NBA this year. And, of course, we're going to look here, Rod, what is you're going to have the NBA tomorrow. Obviously, we got 2 NBA games. Any of them stick out for you? You're going to have a premium? I know, of course, this Clipper team, going to do it again to those poor San Diego, Buffalo, and LA fans that have followed this team. It looks like, are they going to blow another 3-1 lead for these people?
Kawhi in Game 7, how do you bet against this guy? He's just the Terminator. But is that points too many? I don't know. I'll probably definitely have a pick on this game for sure tomorrow.
All right.
But I'm early leaning 2-point, 3-point game, right? How can you not?
Yep.
I think it's going to come down to the last bucket. I don't see a blowout here.
Yeah, and I know you have action tomorrow in Miami. Boston opens the East final here with a 1.5-point favorite here for Boston. I mean, if you're Miami, you got to be a little upset. Hey, why is this taking so long to start this series? Usually, you're supposed to get 1 day off and come back and play. They're giving Boston all this time off.
Exactly right. I'd be upset too. Jimmy Buckets is like, come on, let's get this going. We're ready to kick your butt.
Yeah, we took care of business. Okay, we played 8. We played 1 more than the minimum. You should have put Boston on the court with 1 day of rest, chalk us up for game 1. That's what we deserved, right? I don't get that.
Exactly.
I don't think it's
right. I don't know. This game should have been played yesterday. I totally agree with you.
All right.
Or at least played it tonight. Why not? There's no basketball tonight. Why wouldn't they play this game tonight? But I understand it's Monday Night Football, right? They don't want to have to compete. That's the reason why, I think. But they could have played it yesterday.
Yeah, they could have easily done that. All right, Rod, it's always great having your show. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
You bet. You have yourself a good evening. Good luck.
All right. I will try my best here, but thankfully we only have about 5 minutes to go solo here. Unless Dana's back with me, let's put Dana. But we got Statue Dana back. All right, the statue and no voice. Okay, it's Tony T going solo here for the final pick. By the way, it's time for my pick. Let's go to this game. Let's go to this Brewers Cardinals game 2. We're gonna go under total of 7. We have Daniel Ponce de Leon. He did show improvement in his last start with better control, allowing 2 runs over 3 innings. He faced the Brewers last year, pitched well, 1 run over 5 innings he gave up, and he's backed up by a good bullpen. Now, Cody Burns was a listed pitcher for Milwaukee in Game 2. Past 3 starts, he's been phenomenal. No earned runs allowed in 19 innings. He has a strikeout rate of 36%. Let's go to Game 2, under 7 runs in that one. All right, so check out Pick Dogs for our top cappers. Of course, they have plays up there. And reminder, guys, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, it's the morning show. You got Mitch and the crew will break down all the games for Tuesday. Well, I'm sure they'll talk about the 2 NBA games going on tomorrow, as we've got the Clippers Nuggets Game 7, of course the Heat and Celtics Game 1. So you'll get that coverage, as well as I'm sure the entire baseball card. We got Week 2 of the NFL. We'll have some lines and some opinions there, I'm sure, as well as college football. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Let's go ahead and put the Pick Dogs up on the screen and give everyone a wave goodbye. Have a good evening to everyone, and we will talk to you guys.